Okay, so this video is going to be about Raphinha. Now, I want to make it very clear from the very beginning for my Ballon d'Or list, like who I believe should be on the list is going to be revolving around 5 players. That is Raphinha, Yamal, it's going to be Salah, Mbappé, and I will say Dembélé. Those 5 players. Notice how all of them are wingers. Last season, it was like for the wingers only. It was not for the number 10s. It was not for the strikers or the CDMs like what happened with Rodri. It was the year of the wingers. And that is why I put those 5 players in my top 5, right? And they're all wingers. Like, that's just how it is. And I believe that, it was a season that showed that every team or every world dominant team like Liverpool, FC Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, all those teams, right? In order for you to have some sort of success, even though Real Madrid did not win a single trophy, right? In order for you to have some sort of success, you got to have a great winger in your team. And that is why we have a lot of wingers in the top 5, in my top 5 at the very least. And so I want to kind of like rank these 5 players, and I'm going to be like talking about Raphinha for like 99% of this video because I think that he's the only one that really does matter. But this is going to be my own opinion. I don't want to offend anybody here. I don't want to offend any Real Madrid fan, any Liverpool fan, any PSG fan. If you guys are in my top 5, you guys are in my top 5. Like, that's the best it's going to get. Like, I'm sorry that I'm not going to put your player in number 1, but that is how it is. So for me, number 1 is going to be Raphinha. I'm sorry. I know I may have offended some of you guys, but that's just how it is. Raphinha, number 1. Number 2 for me is going to be Dembélé. Number 3 for me is going to be Lamine Yamal. And then I have Salah, and then I have Kylian Mbappé. I'm sorry, Mbappé. I'm sorry to the Mbappé fans. I'm sorry to the Real Madrid fans, but Mbappé did not do a single thing last season. I know you're going to say, no, but Kevin, he scored 30 goals or something like that. Like, yes, that's really good. Once again, that is why he's in my top 5. Notice how Mbappé is over 99,000 other players, right? We're talking, like, there's more players out there. There's like 99,000 more players out there in Europe. Maybe even more. Maybe my whole math is wrong. But he's still in my top 5, so don't get too offended. But Mbappe to me is in the number 5 position. So I have my notes here. Like I said, I want to make it very clear. Raphinha is my number 1. He deserves to win the Ballon d'Or. And I say that because of his elite output. I believe he was the most efficient. He won La Liga, he won the Copa del Rey, and the Spanish Super Cup. He could have won the Champions League, but unfortunately, because of that disgraceful performance from both sides, Inter Milan and Barcelona in the semifinals, we could not win 4 trophies in one season. But we were in the semifinals of the Champions League, and one of the reasons why we were even in the semifinals of the Champions League was because of Raphinha. Raphinha was effective every time we had to face Dortmund, Benfica, Bayern, any of those teams in the Champions League. Raphinha was always there, always there. Name me another player that was always there from August of 2024 until freaking May 2025. Tell me one player. You may say, Kevin, remember Dembélé? Dembélé was there until the final. Okay, bro. Yeah, he was there until the final, but when did he actually rise up to the occasion for PSG? It was in January 2025. He did not do a single thing in the first 4 months. Injuries, whatever, fitness, whatever, duh. But like, injuries are going to be counted too for the Ballon d'Or criterias. These judges in the Ballon d'Or, they're going to be looking at, were you fit? Were you always available for your team? Because it's your fault that you're injured at the end of the day. It's your fault. It's your fault. I'm sorry, but it's just your fault. So Dembélé could not really even be counted on in the first 4 to 5 months for PSG. So I would say that the most consistent player, the one that was always there for his team, was Raphinha. So Raphinha, to me, was over Dembélé by a huge margin. And I have a feeling that the Ballon d'Or is going to rig this in the best way possible to make Dembélé win, or to make Kylian Mbappé go over Raphinha for whatever reason. I would not be surprised, and I want to make this very clear to you guys first. You guys are going to hear this first. Do not be surprised if the Ballon d'Or ends up being a ceremony where they say Kylian Mbappé deserves to be over Raphinha for this season. I mean, the last season. Don't be surprised. Only because Mbappé has better PR. So, but I digress. Let's talk about Raphinha again. In La Liga alone, he scored 18 goals and provided 11 assists. 18 goals and 11 assists, earning La Liga Player of the Season, and he was a boss on the left flank between August all the way until May. In Europe, he was nuclear as well. I believe that his Champions League performance was better than his domestic performance. In the Champions League, he was top scorer with 13 goals, top assist player. I think it was like 8 or 9 assists. So for those of you guys who want to say that the Champions League is what matters the most, that the reason why this player deserves to win the Ballon d'Or is because he did so well in the Champions League, okay, well, there you have it, right? Raphinha was the number 1 for goals and assists and was effective in almost all games. Now what? What are you going to say? You're going to say that, oh, the Champions League does not matter anymore? No. Stick to your word. Be consistent. Raphinha was there for La Liga and especially in the Champions League. So let's go to the next point. I would say that, he was also decisive in those knockout goals. For example, in the match against Benfica, decisive. Obviously, like that was a 5-4 thriller. I think I'm getting all these score lines like messed up because of how many goals we have scored through the past season. But it was like a 5-4 thriller. We scored that last minute goal. He scored a brace in the 4-3 Clasico. He also won the man of the match in the Supercopa Final. What else? Raphinha did not just finish plays. Like, I know that we have been talking about goals and assists, but he was pressing. Okay, he was pressing in all games. He was a hustler. Ball recoveries, chance creation. He was the identity to Barcelona's attack. I don't want to hear anybody say that Mbappé pressed more than Raphinha, and that Dembélé pressed more than Raphinha. Yes, Dembélé improved on his pressing, and he was amazing. He looked like Eto out there. I'm giving you guys props, but it wasn't at the level of Raphinha. Yamal, not even close, does not press to the level of Raphinha. Raphinha was the main presser. As a matter of fact, we can even talk about the most previous game. Raphinha just pressed one of the Como defenders and gave Yamal the goal. Raphinha has been doing that since August 2024. So this guy is a hard worker. And I'm going to be talking about the importance of hard work and why I believe that giving the Ballon d'Or to Raphinha is a automatic win for football. I'm going to be talking about that in just a few minutes. But, Raphinha is a prime example of what it means to try your best on the field, even though you don't have the most talent, right? You can still do great things. You can still win a lot of things. Once again, that's going to be talked about at the end of this video. So the Ballon d'Or criteria involves individual brilliance, decisiveness, collective success, all of this, right? And with Dembélé, right, stepping away from Raphinha for just a second, Dembélé, PSG treble. Congratulations. It was a phenomenal season for Dembélé and for PSG as well. But Raphinha had the UCL Golden Boot, the League Player of the Year award, also won a domestic treble, not the main treble, but the domestic treble. And with Kylian Mbappé, he had great numbers, scored a lot of goals. He did amazing in his first season with Real Madrid, but he lacked those Champions League defining nights, and he did not win a single trophy at all. For Salah, had a great domestic run, also scored a lot of goals, provided so much assist, but his, I would say, European performance lacked a little compared to Mbappé, Dembélé, and Raphinha. And then as for Lamine Yamal was exceptional in terms of pure football, in terms of excitement, in terms of the spectacular. Yamal was the guy, and I just don't see the Ballon d'Or favoring, like these judges favoring Yamal to go over Mbappe and Dembélé. In my opinion, I think that Yamal should be number 2, but I just don't see that happening. I am a little pessimistic about how the football world does work, and because of the PR and all that. So I think that Yamal will receive the 4th or 5th position, in my opinion. Maybe 3rd. I know that I said 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever, but the pessimistic side says that he goes on 5th. My optimistic side says that he goes in 3rd. So we'll see where he does end up. But he also won the domestic treble, scored a lot of goals for his age. He was phenomenal. So I think that with Raphinha winning, it's going to be a huge deal, because we have always talked about how, in the past 10 years for sure, the Ballon d'Or always favored either a striker or a number 10, or sometimes a CDM here or there, like Modric or Rodri, but never really truly rewarded the left wingers or the right wingers. And for the first time in a very long time, especially that last season, we are favoring all wingers, or at least for me, we are favoring all wingers, right? All of these players that we have talked about, Yamal, Salah, Mbappé, Dembélé, Raphinha, they're all wingers. And with Raphinha winning it, especially with his hard work, it's supposed to go to him. It's a complete game. He's a complete package. Defensive tracking, pressing triggers, width control, creation, finishing, all of this needs to be rewarded, because this is what's going to lead me towards the next phase of this video. If Raphinha does win, okay, I think that a lot of people, and when I mean by people, I mean a lot of players and youngsters especially, are going to be looking at that and saying, if Raphinha can do it, who did not have the most talent, because Mbappe, Salah, Dembélé, Yamal had more talent than Raphinha. But if Raphinha can do it, I can do it too. The only thing that I have to do is work hard. The only thing that I have to do is show up every day for training, to get stronger, to develop that elite mentality, to believe that you can be better than your opponent who has better talent than you. If he won the Ballon d'Or, I can do that. And if there's any place that I can replicate that type of success, it could be at FC Barcelona. Many players will be attracted to go to a team like FC Barcelona, because at Barcelona we value your work ethic, because we know that when your work ethic is on point, you will be rewarded. You will be good enough for Barcelona, and you will succeed at a team like FC Barcelona. Let me tell you, football will win if Raphinha gets the Ballon d'Or. because we're talking about a player who came from Leeds, who was battling relegation. He was about to go to second division, and he moved to FC Barcelona in the summer of 2022. Everybody called him the fake Brazilian, that he is nowhere near the level of Vinicius or Mbappe or any other Brazilian player at that time. They were saying that Raphinha just has nothing. He's not dynamic, he's not versatile. He can't do any tricks. Like, what is he? Like, he's not gonna do anything. And he had a few bumps here and there in the first 1 to 2 seasons under Xavi Hernandez, but the moment Hansi Flick came in and he's like, we're going to work hard, you're going to improve your game, we're going to play very direct, we know who you are, we know your strengths, we're going to put you in the best position to succeed. And when all of that comes into place, this happens, right? Scoring a lot of goals in the Champions League, scoring a lot of goals in La Liga. And Raphinha was trying very hard. He never gave up. He even said before that, sometimes he did not feel like he was meant for FC Barcelona. He questioned why he would even pick this move. But no, he's here. And he persevered. And now he's being named as a Ballon d'Oro contender. He won La Liga. He won the not Champions League, I wish, but the Spanish Super Cup, the Copa del Rey. And he's not the most talented. The only reason why he has all these goals and all of these assists is because he pressed the opponent. He forced the errors. He believed, right? He had ultimate stamina. He worked on his stamina, where when all players were getting so tired in the dying last 10 minutes of the game or 5 minutes of the game, Raphinha showed up making those runs, like in that goal against Benfica, in the goal against Bayern Munich, just going in. That hat-trick against Bayern Munich was amazing. Him running over the defensive line, going to that open space, scoring the goal, or just like controlling the ball from a long pass. Like, I'm just like, how the hell, how is that even possible? How do you even control the ball like that? And then he scores the goal. It's just, it's insanity. And this is me. Like, I am not speaking like this because I'm a Barcelona fan. I'm speaking like this because it's the truth. I'm speaking like this because if you give the Ballon d'Oro to Raphinha, first of all, the Ballon d'Oro will finally gain back its credibility and football will win. And most importantly, a lot of players are going to be looking at that and saying, I can do what Raphinha did. That talent is not just talent. It is also work ethic. If you bring the work ethic, you will win a lot of things. Because bro, can you imagine if a player like Mbappé wins or he ends up being over Raphinha? What do you think the youngsters and the other players are going to be thinking? They're going to be saying, oh, then all I have to do is just showcase my talent and do these fancy tricks and whatever. And I don't have to press. Like, I don't have to do that. Like, it's not even rewarded. Being like doing the pressing and defending, going up and down and scoring goals and providing assists and running to open spaces and scoring the last goal. That defines being the winner in the last 5 minutes of the game. None of that matters because it does not even get rewarded. All I have to do is make these tricks and be flashy with my goals. Chilena, put the ball over a player, put the ball between the legs, and I'll win the Ballon d'Oro. I'll win the Ballon d'Oro. No problem. That's all it is, because the football tells me that that's what's being rewarded today. So like, why should I even try? No. That is not how it is. Football is not like that. It's not how it works. I'm sorry, but that's just not how it works. Like bro, you think Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Oro because of won 5 or 6 Ballon d'Oros because of his talent? You really think that? Do you think that he won the Ballon d'Oro because of his talent? I don't think so. I think that he won a lot of Ballon d'Oros because he worked a lot and he hustled a lot over the past 15 years. Same thing with Lionel Messi. You think that Messi won the Ballon d'Oro only because of his talent? No. I'm sorry. Like, you don't just rely on your talent and then assume that you're going to be available for 99% of the matches. No, like if you just rely on your talent and you're going to assume that you're going to be available for 99% of the matches, you're probably not, bro. I'm sorry. Go ask Ronaldinho. Go ask Neymar. Go ask. So this guy's a leader. Raphinha's a leader. He is going to be one of the captains for Barcelona eventually, and I think that it should be for him and for him only. The PR is strong here. The PR is going to be strong in this competition for the Ballon d'Oro for Raphinha. The PR for Mbappé and Salah, that machine is going to be insane. Trust me. Like, I'm gonna be pissed for a moment if I see Mbappé over Raphinha or Salah over Raphinha. But I also would not be surprised. And so that is going to be my talk for today. I hope you guys do enjoy this video. If you guys do end up liking these type of videos, it's on the membership tab. Okay, I'm trying to build that. I think that is something that can provide a lot of value. It's only basically 16 cents, I think. 16 cents a day, which is really not a lot. So make sure you go out there. There's a lot of more premium content, and I'll see you guys over there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.